dann wie eine Rakete geht es nach oben. Das sind deswegen so wichtig und ja, wichtig halt. Ich habe dann hier geschrieben in meinem Instagram-Account bei 30.000. Ich habe auch im Nasdaq meine Positionen, Long-Positionen jetzt deswegen reduziert. Also nochmal zur Erklärung, der Trade, die ich eingegangen bin, erst einmal hier reduziert. Der Swing, und dafür habe ich meinen Stopp sozusagen für einen Swing verdient und alles war in Ordnung. Der Swing an sich war so lange zu halten, entweder der Markt wird mich unten ausstoppen oder geht dann, weil hier hat ja erst einmal alles gegeben, was ich mir zumindest mal gedacht habe. Entweder Ausstopper für den Swing und das bleibt als Gewinn einfach mal bestehen oder der läuft dann wunderbar und hat er ja auch getan. Und diese Position, die ich als Swing gehabt habe oder habe, musste ich exakt bei 30.000 der Gewinn rausnehmen und jetzt sind wir sozusagen in den Swing-Position und Trade-Position pari. Der Trade-Position habe ich komplett hier geschlossen, also ich hatte keinen Trade mehr, sondern der Swing bleibt, Swing wurde verwaltet und jetzt war in Nasdaq genauso wichtig in diesem Bereich. Ergibt sich dann eine gute Hedge-Position, zumindest mal ein bisschen Checkliste hier anwenden, um Bereich kleiner zu machen. Hat sich ja auch gut rentiert, haben wir ja auch gesehen, wo er wieder gehalten hat, exakt in vorherigen Bereichen, aber ja, für mehr Korrektur, genauso auch im Nasdaq, hat nicht mehr gereicht, aber Nasdaq hat meiner Meinung nach zumindest mal oben ein bisschen besser, schöner korrigiert, als der DAX macht. Aber insgesamt beide geben sich nichts, also beide sind noch bullish in einem Bereich, der in beide Märkte, also DAX sowie Nasdaq, jetzt sind sie sich irgendwie einig, wobei ich ehrlich gesagt für Nasdaq ein bisschen mehr bullish bin. So, noch, mal schauen. Mal schauen, was sich ergibt. Also, als DAX. DAX ist zwar, wie gesagt, geht auch, aber muss ich immer wieder nach unten meine Positionen gut anpassen. Sonst, wie gesagt, kann ganz schnell böse werden im DAX. So, deswegen ganz wichtig, dass wir als Long-Positionen momentan auch alle Augen aufhaben und nicht nur denken, das geht wieder einmal weiter. Nasdaq wird der Position deswegen auch groß, weil Nasdaq wird unterhalb wieder mindestens, also die erste Warnung ist, wenn der Markt unter die 30.000 anhält, hat er hier dir gezeigt, beziehungsweise hier, da siehst du ja schon, wie oft unter 30.000 gehalten haben und dann ist Trend Your Friend, also weitergelaufen. Das heißt, unterhalb von 30.000 ist erste Warnung. Allerdings, und was bedeutet Warnung? Was kann passieren? Im Grunde genommen, lass uns mal ganz schnell reden, bis zu diesem wieder LIDA-Linien bzw. 28,9 darf er korrigieren. Die sind solange es jetzt. Solange nicht darunter geht, darf der Markt bullish bleiben. Darunter schmeiße ich meinen restigen Bull sein. Also und werde neutral. Okay, also im Nasdaq. Das heißt, hier oben muss die Gewinne reduziert sein. Also
this Brooklyn building has 80 apartments that were never supposed to exist. But how did 80 apartments in a manufacturing zone end up renting for over $5,000 a month? Well, for that, let's go back to the 1940s. These factories churned out lighting fixtures and garments for decades, until the 1990s, when 80,000 people lost their jobs as industry fled the city. The building sat mostly empty. And then in 1998, the factory floors of 255 McKibben Street were chopped up into 80 apartments for artists. No certificate of occupancy, no legal residential use. But back in 1982, the state passed the Loft Law, which legalized previously illegal loft conversions in Manhattan, but not in Brooklyn. Which means when I first came here in 2009 to the rooftop parties, the building was still illegal. There was live bands upstairs and the lofts were packed wall to wall. This was the heyday of indie music in Brooklyn. Back then, rents went from $375 to $800 per person per month. For that price, you got plywood walls, bed bugs, and the occasional federal raid. Then in 2010, the state expanded the law to include buildings like this one, and a whole host of other buildings across East Williamsburg. Then the next year, the FBI raided the 5th floor at 6 a.m. looking for members of the online hacker group Anonymous, who just a few months prior attacked the website PayPal. They got the wrong door. Megan Ralph, a 21-year-old who was living here for 2 weeks, answered the door on only 3 hours of sleep. She said, quote, "They were trying to be nice when they realized I wasn't a criminal mastermind." Today, rents have been listed as high as $5,500 for a one-bedroom apartment. Let me know, would you live here? And do you think more cities should legalize illegal housing like New York City did? Stay curious, my friends. This Brooklyn building has 80 apartments that were never supposed to exist.
Check it out, this bike trail has a full crash guardrail right next to it.
In Pinellas County, Florida, built the Tri-County Trail. They took it pretty seriously.
Most of the time when you're riding your bike, you just get a white painted line. And that's not going to do much to stop a car from smushing me if I'm riding my bike here.
And that's pretty stressful when cars are zooming by you at 55.
All right, so now we'll step up the safety game. Now when a car drifts out of its lane to run me over, it can make a bunch of noise. These flexible delineator posts, they do a good job visually separating out the bike lane, which is good, but, well, they're almost nothing in terms of safety.
So engineers had work crews install these W-beam guardrails. W because the metal looks like it's a W. Constantly separating the cars from the bikes.
I think that's why I'm so excited to see an actual guardrail, because this couldn't have been cheap, and when's the last time a bike lane got this kind of respect?
Though there's still a little danger at each intersection where bicyclists are totally exposed. But that's a problem in every intersection. For the Tampa suburbs, this is pretty rural.
Gets me thinking, in a country area, we never put bike trails next to the highway because we're like, well, there's not that many people. Never somebody riding their bike on the side of the country highway. Well, exactly. Bike trails next to country highways are the best place to put them.
When bicyclists or people on foot are kind of rare, you suddenly sneak up on them.
You're driving a car, you're not looking for a bike.
So Florida safely gets them out of the way, puts up a barrier to keep you from accidentally smushing them, and everybody wins.
Way to go, Florida. Check it out, this bike trail has a full crash guardrail right next to it.
To keep you from accidentally smushing them, and everybody wins.
Way to go, Florida.
We need to talk about the Five Feud. So what is the Five Feud? Let me tell you. Bastian wears a GPS tracking collar, which is kind of like a Fitbit, and it tells us where he is, it tells us his activity levels, it tells us how far he walked, who he walked with, and basically all of these other stats that are amazing. If you're friends with people that also have dogs that are using the collar, you can actually compare yourselves in the app, which is like a really fun feature that I particularly like about this collar. Our friends Keely and Ed have a dog named Al that you may know as Al from Mayor. And Al just historically has 1 million steps.
Stimmt
It's an
eben nicht,
ongoing
das ist
joke
nicht
that Keely and Ed don't have a job because all they do
muss ich
all
auch
day
nicht
is walk
beweisen, er wird einfach
Al.
umgebracht.
So it's always been a goal of
Klar,
ours
aber sie
to
werden
beat
verschossen.
Al and get way more steps than
Entweder
him.
oder drei.
Or at least just like
Ganz
one
einfach.
more step than him and get higher on the rankings. A couple of months ago, we actually
Und
like
sicher.
sleeper agent style passed them on the charts, and I waited
Gut, ja.
3 days to let them know that we beat them.
Also nicht
And it
die
became
zwei,
an
ja.
ongoing competition that we started
Eben
calling
nicht.
the Five Feud.
Aber
We brought
Neger.
Parker and Sasha into it.
Eben nicht
And
Neger.
Vi thought that this was
Nicht
a
die
really
Schwarze,
funny,
nicht die Schwarze,
engaging thing that we were doing.
nehm's
They
zurück,
decided to up the ante and
shouldn't say
make it
Neger,
an
ja.
official contest.
Don't say
So
Neger.
right now, there's
Stop
$500
saying
on the
Neger.
line for whoever gets the most steps in a 4-week period.
Stop saying nigger, nigger,
And
nigger,
we're only at
nigger.
100,000 steps right now, Bastion.
Oh,
But what I didn't expect is that I know I'm very competitive. I have been very vocal about my desire to win this contest. But what I wasn't expecting is Bastion up the ante, and I swear to God, he is killing me lately. He just keeps asking me for more walks. Yesterday, we took 6 walks. Today, we went on a walk to the beach, a fundraiser. Then we came back, and he asked to go for another walk. I'm exhausted. But we have a week and a half left, and I'm not going to back down now. We need to talk about the 5 feud. So what is the 5 feud? Let me tell you, Bastion wears a GPS tracking.
Wichita, Kansas has a very strange amount of airports. Wichita International, McConnell Air Force Base, Beach Factory, Jabara Airport, and more. This is because the city is dubbed the air capital of the world, with aviation being a major industry.
Never too
All these
late.
airports exist for different uses. This is the main commercial major industry. All these airports exist for different uses. This is the main commercial airport.
Einer ist zum Ficken und einer ist zum Ficken und einer ist zum Ficken, ja.
And this is for factories.
Da haben wir eine neue Firma, Fick AG. Fick AG und Fick GmbH.
Beach Factory, Jabara Airport, and more. This is because the city
Fick
is dubbed
AG.
the air capital of the world, with aviation being a major industry.
Wo hocken's denn? Wo
All these
hocken's doch
airports
da,
exist
ey?
for different uses.
Kannst du mir
This is the
sagen?
main commercial airport.
Wo
This
bist?
is a smaller commercial airport.
Sokolowski. Scheiß Schweiz, glaub es. Das ist ein Scheissland. Keiner hat Nüsse da, keiner. In dem Scheiß Schweizerland. Das ist wirklich so. Fast niemand.